This is Kassy, Artist in Residence with Imagine, and today we'll be making a card using the Versafine Clair in Nocturne, the Delicata in Golden Glitz, and the irRESISTible Pico Embellisher in gold and clear. We are also using the embossing powder from Imagine. Here I have some plain white cardstock and a stamp from Unity Stamp Company. It's just a nice flower. We're going to ink it up with the Versafine Clair in Nocturne. And here I'm showing you the design of the packaging is really fantastic. The lid fits very nicely and keeps your ink nice and wet. So I'm first stamping it first generation ink with that beautiful flower, and then I'm going to emboss using clear embossing powder. One really cool thing about this ink that I have found is that you can wait several minutes before putting embossing powder on this ink, and you'll still get great coverage, which is really, really cool. So now I've embossed it. I'm going to stamp off once, and I'm just going to stamp this image multiple times on the background to create an interesting background. And I'm doing second and third and fourth generation of this stamp just to create some visual interest. So then I will be using the gold Pico Embellisher and a paintbrush to paint those petals on the main flower that is our focal point. The reason I'm doing it this way instead of using that fine tip applicator is because I want more of the product on, covering all of the petals, and I really like the brushstroke look of this. If you've never used Pico Embellisher before, it's really pretty amazing, and it dries quicker than you would expect. I would say in less than 10 minutes, maybe 5-6 minutes. It's pretty dry, and it is glossy, and it has dimension to it. It's very cool. So the next thing we're doing is taking Golden Glitz Delicata ink, and I'm spritzed a little bit of water in it because I wanted it to be a little looser. And now I'm gonna splatter it on the background to create an interesting visual effect. This ink is so shimmery that it just really pops out and looks quite amazing. I can't get enough of this ink. I'm using it all the time. So there is that nice background, and we're going to put a sentiment on top of it next. So the next step is going to be to take another sheet of white cardstock and cover it completely with this Golden Glitz ink. And I'm just rubbing it all over until I have the desired look that I want. And you'll see how amazing and shiny and shimmery it is. It's quite lovely. And then I'm drying it just to heat set it to make sure it stays in place. Next I'm going to use tear it tape to adhere the sentiment to that Golden Glitz background paper that I've just created. I really love the tear it tape because, number one, you can tear it off and you don't have to use scissors, which is quite nice, but also the backing comes off really easily too, so you don't have to fight with it to get it to be able to use. So I like that quite a bit. You can also use it on many different surfaces. Here I'm using it on paper and ribbon, and it works fantastically on both. And I've used it with flowers and all sorts of different materials, and I've never had an issue. So I've decided here to put a little bit of extra tape on the back and wrap it around instead of cutting off those ends. I think that it looks a little neater that way. So there we have it. And then we are just going to do the same thing, get some more tear it tape and adhere it to the back of that sentiment. And now I'm ready to adhere it to my card. I'd like it to be off-centered so you see that nice flower poking through. And then we're going to use the Pico Embellisher from the irRESISTible line in clear, and we're just going to go over that word happy at the bottom so that it stands out a little bit more. This Pico Embellisher, now you see I'm using it with the fine point tip, and that's because obviously I want precision here. It's also nice and glossy, and it has dimension, so it helps it stand out and be raised a little bit. Almost looks like it's heat embossed. It adds just a little extra something to your project and helps to finish it. So there's the final layout. Now we're going to adhere it to our card base. Again, I'm using the Tear It tape on the base and just sticking down the top. And there we have our finished piece, showcasing that Versafine Clair in Nocturne and some lovely gold. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. And for more tips and inspiration, please visit ImagineCrafts.com.